Okay, so this is about Omnisphere and some of the things that um, I think are important to know if you do decide to get Omnisphere, particularly stuff about navigating through this system, because it can be quite complicated when you first open it up. I mean, the obvious is here's some categories and here's some sounds, right? You click on one and you get a sound, right? But when you're first starting out on this, the searching portion of this, because I think when you get it, there's like 14,000 sounds, and that's not including if you have Trillion or if you have Keyscape. Because you see here it says all Spectrasonics. This is your directory, by the way, which is important to know. But also, when you have them all, you get this thing called creatives. So you have the libraries, and then you have these creative libraries, and then this is another one called Moog or Moog, I should say, Tribute. So you have those, and then there is also this a few of them come with Trillion, like this Base Legends, and yeah. So anyway, there's quite a bit in here. Um, the Spotlight EDM is not, I don't think it's Omnisphere. It might be Omnisphere, I can't remember, but I have so many. But then you have the user directories where I have all the Tom Wolf stuff and then anything you make yourself that you create. So there's a lot. So there is searching by all Spectrasonics, which just includes the Spectrasonic stuff. But then there's also searching all, like everything you have, user, etc., etc. So you'll see the categories now get way longer. So the categories help you to kind of navigate, right? Whether you want bells and vibes, something like that, right? But they also have type, and that's important because let's say I'm going into bells and vibes, but I have a certain type that I'm looking for. The obvious is I can search up here and find one, but if you go here under type, you can start navigating a little bit better and getting closer to what you want, whether it's bells that are ambient. And over here, you see who it's made by. This is a Keyscape Creative where they blended sounds and made it. But this is a Moog one right here. So this is really intricate, really deep, and can get really, really deep. But then they have another category to help you kind of navigate our tab, and it's the mood. So you can know what does my song feel like, and then you can do this. Or you could just be like, I want to just go to straight genre-based stuff, and I want to find things that are, I don't know, cinematic, because that's my vibe, right? Now I'm looking for cinematic bells. But if you want everything cinematic, then you need to put it here and then go back to type, right? And then you're going to pick, let's say on the type, you might say, okay, I want ambient bells. The genre, I'm going to leave it at all because there's only 5 or 6 of them. But if you had more, you would do that. And then there's the one on the author. So you can see these all come up Tom Wolf because this is his stuff. So it depends on how it's set up and how it's, laid out. But we're looking through all of them, and there are a ton. I mean, like a ton, a ton. You can see them all right there. So it's important to kind of know what you're looking for because you'll be scrolling for days in this thing if you don't. That's why this tool here is really important. But let's say you get to the point where you found one sound you like. I'm just gonna pick something. Let's go with a pad. All right, so we're gonna go down here. Pads and strings. Let's find one we like. I'm gonna navigate over here and go to ambient pads. Okay, there's one I like. I'm just gonna use that one. So now I don't want to just be stuck to this one. kind of want to find something that sounds similar. So the best way to do it is to go sound match. So you click on the one you like and then click sound match. Now it's matching the current one. So this is the current one. So now it's saying, okay, this is the one you're on. This is the current one. Here's the next one that's closest to it. And it was the one I was just on, the Arctic Paradise. Then the next one. And you'll notice they're all by Tom Wolfe because I have a lot of his stuff. In fact, I have all of his stuff. So yeah, you're gonna start getting similar stuff in his because of course he's making cinematic stuff. And he's making a lot of pads. So now you can say, okay, I like this one. So I can say match the current. This is the current one I'm on technically. So watch. And now I get a whole new list of stuff to go through. And I can start navigating to find the perfect sound. So you need to learn this stuff if you decide to go Omnisphere, particularly Omnisphere, because Omnisphere has so many sounds. Because this is how you're going to find that sound that you're looking for without, being frustrated. Now there is this here to just cycle sounds. It just moves them around, brings a different one up top. And you could do that. Right, until you find a sound. But sound match works the best in my opinion. Okay, let's talk about sorting things. So we're going to go back up to all. Now, the sorting on here is interesting because typically you go here, you rate these sounds, right? And that's really what it is, what it comes down to in here. You find sounds you like and you rate them. You could rate them in here if you wanted to, but you can also rate them in the main screen by using the sort button. Click on ratings, and now you'll see the stars slightly right there. So you could do, let's say I like that one. It's a 5-star for me. If I don't, you click on the left side and it removes it. Okay. So click on the last one that you want, or if you want it to be a 3, and then here to get rid of it. This is important because when you go in and sort by ratings, it's going to put the best one to the top, right? So if you click on right up here and let's say Better Place is your favorite, so you put 5, but then New Kingdom, you like, I'm gonna give it a 3. New World, I'm gonna give it a 4. Now when you hit the refresh, although it's taking a little time here, you'll see it did 5, 4, 3. So you want to take your time, maybe when you're not creating, and go through and start rating sounds, if that's your vibe. Some people don't care about ratings and all that. I don't. I personally don't. I never use it. That's why you don't see none of my stuff really rated. I go in, I use the navigation here with the category and type, and I come up with the sound I need. If I need a bell, I go to bells. If I need, I don't need distortion, but let's say I need a guitar, I go to guitar. And then I start finding sound. That doesn't sound like a guitar, but whatever. You get the point. That does sound like more of a guitar. But you find the sounds you need using the category type model. Again, favorites are cool and all, but when it comes down to it, you get what you need. A little bit better, in my opinion, when you just learn the navigation. Sound match is important if you're trying to get something close to what you have, but you want to see what options you have. And then use the search. So you can always go pads. And then it's going to bring up pads. Now you're going to get all kinds of pads, but it's pads nonetheless. So that is one option if you just want to type in what you want. You want to use words that they use, although each one of these just about has a description here. So you could describe the sound that you want in the search, and if it fits any of the descriptions, it'll come up. Like, for instance, this one says achieving complex. So we could let's do the word complex. and hit return. And you'll see it's one of the options right here. So if the word complex is in there or it's described by the word complex in some sort of way, it will give you that sound. So these are what they feel are complex sounds. So that's another way. Use the search bar if you are a prompter or good at that, describing the sound you want. I would say use this. If you're not, and you're more like me and you just wait, oh, I want a bell, and you just want to explore what bell options, use the category section. If you're a person who needs to be uh, putting favorites because you're very organized like that and want more favorites and want to be able to just find sounds that you already used once, because there are a lot of sounds, then just use the favorite and use your ratings to do it. Those are things I feel that you need to know when you get into Omnisphere. Now, there's more than that for sure. For instance, the multi allows you to use multiple patches together. So you can stack up to 8 patches to make a new patch. So that's pretty incredible. Then you have the effects section. Then you have the live section, and then the stack section of how you want them stacked across the keys. So that is a really cool system. But if you go into here, you can also adjust all the settings. You got your filters, blend how much of each sound is going to be played. Of course, you got synth in there too. And then you also have the ability to turn these on and off. So if you don't want some sound, you could turn it off that way. You got 4 categories in here, or 4 slots to put sounds to create your own. The multi is for stacking purposes, and then you can go in and add effects and ARPs and things of that nature. If you look at the main screen here, you'll see the layers are right here too. So that's notes. By the way, the notes is just what it is. It's just notes about what this is. But the layers show you the layers pretty quick. It's pretty fast, I think. And that's the orbit thing. So every sound doesn't have to have all of this stuff. It's up to you. You can take out parts if you want. You can change parts and then save these as your own presets if you want. That's an option. This bottom piece here, I'm in the standalone version. I'm not inside of a DAW. You don't see this in a DAW, but you can change the BPM, turn on a metronome, tap tempo, and then you can actually capture sounds. So right now you see here below, this is mini meters. It's capturing my vocal audio. But let's say you just wanted to capture, let's do this. Let's grab pads. You wanted to copy this sound. You could hit the flow. I don't have a keyboard on. 1 second. I forgot to turn the keyboard on. Let's see. Settings. Turn on the keyboard so you could hear it. So you see how flow is capturing it now? So now you have a wave. You can take that audio and put it into your mixer, your sampler, or whatever. I mean, not mixer, into your DAW or your sampler or whatever you're going to use. So what's cool about this is not even going into the DAW. It's just like a rack right on your computer. You can literally turn this on, get a tempo, hit the flow, and start when you're ready. And turn it off. And now you have what you just played, version of it, right? Which you can title it and save it as and drop it in to a folder of your choice. So pretty cool. This is a great tool. I think, honestly, I like running this thing in standalone sometimes. But if I'm trying to like flesh out a real song, I probably will be in Ableton because it's just where I live with regards to making my music. But This is nice. It's a nice tool to have, and it's standalone if you're using some hardware with it. Let's say I'm using the Torso S4, or I don't have the SP404 anymore, but if I had an SP404 and I wanted to just record sounds right into it, this is the perfect tool for that. In fact, I could record the sounds, put a thumb drive in, and then just, or the SD card, and save it right to the SD card, and then send those pieces and parts back to the device that I'm in, whatever that may be, and record my sounds. So this is a really good option, and I would say take advantage of it. And if you like Omnisphere, grab it. There's so much more to Omnisphere that I'm not even talking about right now, and that is right here: the granular portion, the harmonics, the unison, the FM, all these things where you can go in and tweak the sound even more. If you're a real sound designer, you know what I'm talking about. And that ain't me, so I'm just talking about it. But anyway, yeah, so there's so much more to Omnisphere. It's not just a big name that everybody talks about. There's a reason why people use this in movies and different things to create nice sounds and music. All right, that's it for today on this one, and I'll see you on the next video. I'm out.